What's up, everybody, and welcome to a mini episode of Businesses and Hobbies Rags to Riches. Now, last episode, we raised a bunch of money, and I decided that I was going to go all in and just do a full reno and build the building basically that I wanted to create for our business. So that's what we're going to do today. Just a short one. Obviously, the money that we had was nice, but it was still not enough to do fully what we want to do. So yeah, let's just dive in and see what we can come up with. Okay, so the first thing that I decided to do was to expand this main brick warehouse building to the size of the whiteboard. So you see that little outline that the whiteboard has? That's like the entire space that can be taken up by a class. So I decided to make this warehouse that whole shape, and then I decided to strip it back to bare bones. The little bit that I built in the last episode, I decided was just not, it just wasn't right. It wasn't exactly what I wanted. So I just fully deleted it. We took it all back, and we're sitting at the moment with just over 10,000 simoleons. And I decided, you know what? I think the vibe I want to go for is like two warehouses that have been merged together and renovated. So here you can see me building like a second warehouse shape. I'm going for a very different vibe with this one. This one's a little bit more, I would say, like a more modern style warehouse, still very industrial, but not that singular cubey brick style that the other building is. So I ended up finding the greenhouse kit windows in this black swatch fit really perfectly in these gaps that I had, and they have some different swatches on them, and some of the swatches have like the window open, so I thought that was a nice little touch, so I went with that. I was originally thinking that I would do the two warehouses side by side and then maybe put like a bridge between them or something, but the lot didn't feel big enough for that to work. I wanted like a bit of a bigger gap between them, so I decided to turn this second warehouse around and put it off to the side. So we're going with that for now. And now I'm sort of, I guess, sketching in some extra shapes that I think would have been added in like the renovation part of things. So this sort of big column that I'm building here, and like I think this like sort of chimney breast probably would have already been in the building, but this central column here, I think would have been like a modern addition to when they decided to merge the buildings together. You'll see later, I actually end up putting the stairs for access to the apartment within that column. So I feel like that would have been what they created it for, as like a stairwell. So yeah, I'm just going around now looking for a brick. I end up going for this dine out brick, which is kind of like, it's sort of like a painted brick that's sort of worn away a little bit. So you can see a little bit of that red sort of texture underneath it, that's sort of like where the paint has chipped away. And I thought that looked really nice for that sort of like refurbished vibe, where sometimes people like to keep like original features. So for instance, this old painted brick, the owner probably might have been like, oh, I love this feature. It's, it gives it that historic feel. And so they've kept it. So that's sort of what I was going for. And I actually really liked it. I then looked at the back and was like, the back is like super boring. So I decided to just add this little extra shape on the back. Again, probably would have been one of the modern editions. And yeah, at the start of the speed build, I removed the sort of floating bit off to the side of the brick, like the main brick structure, which I made in the last episode. If you haven't seen that, I'll link the playlist down below so you can catch up if you want to. Yeah, I had this idea originally based on some of the other buildings. They had these sort of like cantilevered spaces, like modern sort of addition cantilevered spaces. And so I was trying to achieve that. I ended up getting rid of it in the beginning because what I had originally done, it didn't feel like it was working. And you can see me here, I've basically taken up the whole lot with these two warehouses. Now I do add it back in a little bit. I end up making the second warehouse a little bit smaller and scooting the whole lot over a couple of tiles, and then we do add it back on, but I do it a little bit differently this time, and I think it works this time. It's not so much a cantilevered space, but it does still have that same sort of vibe as the other building. You can see as well, I managed to finally put that door in. Not exactly where I was planning to put it originally, but I think it works really well in this secondary, like on this second warehouse space. I also started to run out of money, so then I had to go through and get rid of all the extra walls that were inside to try so I can get some money back for myself. I think I pulled back all the flooring as well, like brought it all back to like nothing, just trying to get as much money as I could. So yeah, here's me shortening this side of the warehouse a little bit so that I can move it over, and you'll see in a second what I'm about to do with that sort of cantilevered space on the opposite side. But yeah, I'm basically just making everything just slightly smaller. The only thing that I was really set on was having that original warehouse building, the red brick one, having that the size of the whiteboard class. So that's the only thing that I was really set on. All the rest of the shapes I mess around with a little bit just to as money saving, all that sort of stuff. So here we are building this cantilevered sort of modern extension. I ended up utilizing the eco lifestyle, like the metal beams, which I think work really well in making it feel very industrial and like a modern addition. They've used these beams to like hold it all together. I was originally thinking that maybe I would do windows all the way along, and I still might in the future, but we just didn't have enough money for that. So I decided to delete them for now and just put a couple of smaller windows in there just so that the light still gets in. But yeah, we did not have enough money for an entire thing of windows. But I do end up liking how this looks anyway, because I think it's nice that you can still see that grooved paneling texture as well. I think if I was to use a whole thing of windows, you wouldn't be able to see that. So another thing, yeah, I'm looking at it from the inside at the moment just because obviously I wanted to see what this sort of cantilevered space looked like from the inside, because I do plan on having this as part of the residential apartment space. And I haven't decided yet whether or not I'm going to make it like a rooftop kind of open space, or if I'm going to make it like a, closed in interior space. I've left it interior for the minute, but I still haven't quite decided what I'm going to do with that yet. But I really liked the vibe of it and how it sort of added an extra element to the upstairs space of this building. Yeah, so as you can see, we have 77 simoleons. So we are cutting it fine with the amount of money that we have. So I do pull back even more. I think I can't even remember what I get rid of at this point, because we were just running really low on money the entire time. Like, again, my dreams were bigger than my budget. But I just really wanted to commit to getting the shape right, because I've been round and round in circles now the last couple of episodes trying to build something, and the budget just kept getting in the way. So I was like, you know what? If I have to remove wallpapers or floorings or things like that, I will, because I'd rather get the shape right, like, and then we can do the interior up as we go, as we earn more money, but at least we have the shape that we want. Yeah, so here's me getting rid of all the flooring. Yeah, but that does get us back to 941 simoleons. So once again, we have a little bit of extra room back. So now I'm going through and trying to work out if there's any room in the budget to add a little bit of walls, for things like a bathroom. I wanted to, kind of close off the residential space. So yeah, we go for all basic stuff like the doors. I think the interior doors I'll eventually update to something more modern, maybe even use the ones that come in the pack. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, that's what I wanted to do. So I'm pulling back out all the things that we own that I kept a hold of. So obviously like our selling walls, the shelves, I have the cooler still. So I bought all this stuff back out, and I'm just placing this. Again, I'm not even sure that the layout of all of these things is going to be set. There is one thing that I'd like to bring in to this business next time, once we earn a little bit more money, is the new coffee station. The new coffee bar that they've got looks, well, I've played with it before, and it's a really nice way to get some passive income. Obviously, we'll have to hire an employee to tend it if I'm going to be still running classes and stuff. But I think the offset of the amount of money that you make, because people will just autonomously go up and order, and you make like between 10 and like 30 simoleons per purchase, depending on what they buy. So that is something that I think I would really like to bring into this business as well. And I think it would look really nice, sort of right inside that front door when you first walk in. Yeah, so I eventually I think I want to separate the classroom, put a big like put a wall between it so it's sort of private, and then we have like more like the selling space. The coffee bar could also sort of be treated like a, I guess like a reception desk as well, even though it technically isn't. Like they only need to like sign in at that ticket booth thing, the ticket kiosk. But we could sort of treat it a bit like it's also a reception area where they can take the items that they choose to buy and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of playing around here. So yeah, I've put the stairs in now. I still am not 100% sure. I've based the residential access, like I've put it inside the shop. I'm not sure if I want to keep that. I think I would prefer to have the residential access still be exterior. So I might play around with that a little bit as we go forward, but yeah, we're pretty much getting there with what I managed to achieve. We have 121 simoleons, so I'm going around. I'm making sure that all of the rooms are set to where they need to be, public and residential and stuff. Yeah, it's a little bit tricky because obviously, again, I still really have some big plans for this business, and we're still not quite there. Obviously, we need a lot more windows and things like that, but I definitely think we finally have the shape down. I really like the shape that I managed to create. I think I'll eventually turn this back section like into like a balcony or something for the residential section. I'm not sure. There's still a lot of sort of experimenting I can do, but I really like the shape that I made. So yeah, this is what we managed to come up with. I would give you a tour, but you basically saw everything there was. The interior is pretty basic because we still do not have enough money to finish it off, but I'm really happy with where it ended up, and I hope you like it as well. Like I said, if you haven't watched my Rags to Riches series and this video has piqued your interest, the playlist will be linked down below if you'd like to catch up. I've had a lot of fun so far playing around with the Businesses and Hobbies expansion pack, and there's even more to come because we have a long way to go before this business is done. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know any feedback or suggestions that you have down below of things that you think might need to be tweaked, or any suggestions you have that might even save us some more money based on the shape that I created. More than welcome. Any feedback is more than welcome. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye, everyone.